uplifts them, inspires them, and helps them to concentrate. While the ordered environment, that order, the stability of the environment helps with their sense of order and helps the children construct their own stable internal order.
I'm Glenn Herbert, and I'm an editor with Our Kids. We're speaking with insiders from Canada's leading private schools to gain insights into their programs, culture, traditions, and leadership. This includes insights from parents, alumni, and administrators. This is the Our Kids Insider Perspective.
In choosing the school, I think the first thing that attracted us to the school was its serene setting. Children have access to several green play areas with mature trees, wooden structures, and space to grow and care for plants. There's also the Serena Gandhi Park, which is in close proximity, providing even more opportunities for children to explore nature. And this was particularly helpful throughout the pandemic as outdoor time has been increased. Second thing we noticed is the classrooms are full of light and beautifully decorated with miniature replicas of real life objects. Um, but through our observations and interviewing other Montessori schools, we really realized that what sets this school apart from other Montessori schools is the proper age mix ratio in the CASA program. So children are from 3 to 6 years old in the program, and to really implement the Montessori methodology to its fullest, you really need to have a proper age mix group spanning all the ages. Also, from our observation, it was evident that at Maria Montessori School, they are committed to adhere as close as possible to the core principles of Dr. Maria Montessori. And a few other considerations that I want to bring up because they are different from what we've observed. Lunch arrangements. So at Maria Montessori School, parents are encouraged to include their children in the decision making and preparation of their lunches, and as a result, you know how much they eat, you know what they eat, and you can control that. And also it's another step towards their independence. So that was an aspect that we've considered that we really liked. The nap arrangements in line with the Montessori philosophy to respect the needs of each individual child. Napping is not mandatory, and there's a nap room for children that want to nap and have that developmental need still to continue to do so, regardless of their age. And furthermore, we wanted our children to really develop the life skills to live a fulfilled and happy life. We really believe that independence, self-confidence, and the ability to concentrate for long periods of time are really key to um, living a successful life. And more importantly, the way at Maria Montessori, the way work is perceived as a purposeful and fulfilling activity, we feel that those were key areas that resonated with us. And the academic success that comes with it is an added benefit. Sure. So maybe I'll just introduce my kids a little bit. Matteo is 6 years old. This is his fourth year in the CASA program, and he'll transition to the lower elementary program in September. He's very active, loves mountain biking, soccer, and enjoys playing piano and drawing. He's also very social and interacts with everyone from the school staff to the parents and siblings of his colleagues. Uh, Luca, my second son, is 2.5 years old, and he has been in the toddle program for a year. He'll transition to the casa program in September. He also is very active and loves biking in the forest, playing basketball, as well as singing and dancing. He's very caring in nature and often helps his peers with reaching an activity or getting dressed. And as a result, he's been a great support in the classroom. In terms of their experience within the school, it's been really, really incredible. I think um, the first thing that comes to mind is that my children are happy. They go to school happy. They reach their classroom and enter embracing it as their own. Um, it's Maria Montessori believed that the child who concentrates is immensely happy. And really, this is true at Maria Montessori because they adhere very strictly to the 3 hour of uninterrupted focus time in the morning, which helps kids develop this concentration and focus time. Um, Everything in the classroom is, as I mentioned, really a miniature replica of a real life object, beautifully arranged. Everything is glass, wood, ceramic. They set the table every day with real uh, ceramic and glass and cutlery, and um, they get lessons in grace and courtesy on a daily basis. Most importantly, they learn to care for themselves, their environment, to be helpful to others, um, and they each have an individual learning plan and advance at their own pace, unlike the traditional classroom setting, which has been really beneficial for my children. Another thing that I wanted to mention is that they everyone in the Montessori classroom is a leader and a follower. So children lead in areas they excel at and follow in areas that they need to learn and develop. Once you master an activity and are able to present it to someone else, then you'll be given that task. And here, age is not a factor, ability is. And I think this is a great life skills that it's instilled in Maria Montessori, and it really helps with the self-confidence. And as a result, both my children are very self-confident and self-driven, self-motivated, and they enjoy what they do every day at school. I would say it's the classroom setting. Really, I don't know if you've seen it ever, a Montessori classroom, but at Maria Montessori in particular, every class is carefully prepared to be both aesthetically attractive, and there's a sense of order in the classroom. Both of these qualities really help children's development. The artistically beautiful environment really helps them, uplifts them, inspires them, and helps them to concentrate. While the ordered environment, that order, the stability of the environment helps with their sense of order and helps the children construct their own stable internal order. And I think the fact that the activities in the classroom are challenging, but very importantly, Montessori materials are self-correcting. So when a child makes a mistake, it's okay, it's accepted, it's part of the learning process, but they're able to spot it and they're able to correct it. And this is what gives them a great satisfaction.
Right. Okay. And as a parent, what would you say you appreciate the most, other than all of the things we've just discussed?
So if I were to summarize one thing as I reflected upon this, one thing that we're really grateful is how everyone, and not only the teachers, the guides, everyone, the staff, really helps to nurture and preserve the vitality of our children's spirit. And I'm probably quoting Maria Montessori here, but this is a great summary of how we feel. Our children can be who they are. Um, and that's very important for their self-confidence and development. The last year has been really challenging in terms of um, juggling lockdowns, online learning. For some classes in person continues, which we're very grateful for. But if I think about it, I believe it's very important for parents of the Maria Montessori community to understand the Montessori philosophy, the principles, the process, and to also adopt them at home. This really ensures a healthy development for the child as well as alignment for the parents' values and goals. So, um, Maria Montessori, pre-pandemic, used to have incredible parent education workshops, and some of them, for new parents, were even mandatory in nature. And I think that I've took advantage of a lot of them, and it really helped me understand the Montessori philosophy, helped me understand how I can continue that and reinforce that at home. But most importantly, it'll help me really appreciate the care and dedication of the staff and Maria Montessori. And I think that's an important aspect that should be continued, potentially making some workshops even mandatory in nature. As I mentioned, I think that practice should be continued at Maria Montessori. I remember when after my son Mateo started in the CASA program, I booked an observation session to just observe the dynamic in the classroom. So you just sit in a chair in a corner quietly and observe the children as they go about their daily activities. And I cannot describe I was so surprised to see how about 20 children on a mixed multi-age from 3, even earlier than that, to 6 years old, go about their day picking up the activities that they want to work on and perfect. The older ones were mentoring younger ones. 2 children were preparing the snack for the classroom later on. One of them was polishing shoes. The teacher was giving a lesson to another. It just I was in awe to observe the serenity, the calmness, and how everything unfolded in this organic way, with only one teacher and an assistant in the class that didn't seem to intervene a lot. Um, I would say the highest value would be respect for the child. Um, Everyone at Maria Montessori follows the needs of the child, regardless of what those are. And as I mentioned, they nurture that spirit of the child. Their main goal is really to lead the child to independence. And if I think about it, toilet learning is the perfect example. In the toddler program, children are prepared for toilet learning, and they're helped and guided to help change and clean themselves when they have an accident. Really, to me, this commitment from the staff exemplifies their respect for the child because they see uh, confidence in toilet learning as an important, crucial aspect for their independence.
Okay.
Another value that I think Maria Montessori has is really to set up the child for success. Um, Really introducing the child to activities that he's ready to explore once he has developed those fine motor skills and coordination, for example, so that when the child attempts an activity, it brings joy and satisfaction, as opposed to frustration. So the teachers who really, if you understand the Montessori philosophy, is there as a guide, they're incredibly skilled in identifying when a child is ready for that next stage of development to introduce the next challenging activity. And the third really value that I would, it's evident to me is how they create a sense of community both in the classroom but within the parent group. Very varied on backgrounds. Is there's families of 2, even 3 kids attending the school. Everybody knows each other. Um, the school it's small in size, and has about 2 or 3 floors that they can use along with the playgrounds. um, it's very nice to see the siblings. Lucas um, making comments from his class when he sees his brother in the playground, and similarly for Mateo, proudly saying, "That's my brother in the playground." So they feel like home. Parents, pre-pandemic, we used to, gather around the school and maybe go together to the park where kids would continue to play. Um, there's a parents group network that you can become part of. You can volunteer to be a class rep. You can There's lots of activities. Again, I'm speaking pre-pandemic. I'm hoping we'll slowly get back to those, like a corn roast in the fall, skating day in the winter, the end of year picnic. There's also parent night, specifically for parents to mingle. So this all creates a very tight community. In addition to that, the workshops that Maria Montessori has organized for the benefit of the parents really have helped in bringing the values and goals of the parents together and aligning those goals and values, but also in helping us mingle and connect with each other when we were attending those workshops as well. I think there's one in particular, very recent for my son Mateo. He just turned 6, and he has been recently introduced to weaving. And he came home showing me this beautiful piece that he had created, and also letting me know that he has become so skilled in weaving that now he can present it to a peer. And one of his best friends in the class in a similar age had not been introduced to this activity, and Matteo had the privilege of presenting from the beginning to the end. And the teacher actually told us that to start at the loom and to start the weaving process, it's pretty complicated. It requires several steps, but she was confident that Matteo can do it, and he was successful in doing so. And I remember with really fondly the sense of joy, satisfaction, and pride when he came home and said that he presented this lesson to his friend. So that's for Matteo. For Luca, I think one of my proudest moments in the class, for him in the classroom, is when the teacher sent us a photo with him um, helping a colleague, a little girl, with tying her paint apron before she was starting that activity. And to me, that is just so telling of his caring nature, but at the same time, maybe such a proud mama of my little gentleman that really is growing up and developing in the Maria Montessori School community. As I mentioned, they offer lessons and grace and courtesy as well, and they model that behavior, and it's evident in my children. Absolutely. So it's been incredible, especially through the pandemic, the level of communication. If you have any concern, an email away, a phone call away, you get an appointment promptly with either the principal or the teacher. she would make a time during lunchtime to call, and you can address any concerns or any questions. I know my son had some medical concerns, suffered from asthma, and especially during the pandemic, after each minor cold, he would continue with cough. And the staff at Maria Montessori was incredibly supportive, calling us, letting us know how he's doing, and how his condition is progressing. It's the administrative staff equally dedicated, equally invested really in the growth and development of the children, which is really, really great to see, and very helpful with everything. So first of all, I would highly recommend the school. Um, I really believe they have amazing, strong values, staff, and a great community. So probably those will be the three main things that I would highlight. Um, as I mentioned before, very important how they respect the child, and how they care and are invested in in helping them become an independent human being. So for me, in particular, if I were to give myself an advice, it would be to have enrolled Mateo, my firstborn, earlier in their toddler program. He started in the Casa program when he was 2.5, as I definitely see the benefits from Luca attending that program as well. If I were to give an advice for a friend, don't do a lot of research anymore. This school is perfect. It provides you that great relief and feeling that your kids are well taken care of in a loving environment, respectful environment, and they're learned to really care for themselves, respect nature, respect their homes, and respect each other and help each other. And when you're home and your kids are at school, you just feel comfortable. You don't worry about a thing. I think this is an amazing feeling that a parent can wish for.
Information about this school, you can visit their profile at ourkids.net.